When they're first. Welcome to Unbreakable. Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. It is good to be here again. Thank you for tuning in. And, thank you guys for putting your questions in and reaching out. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve and to be able to help people take their game to the next level. I'm grateful for all of the fellas I grew up with, all of the guys I played ball with, all of the coaches that have sold into me. I have coaches now. I have three coaches right now. Thank you, coaches, Dr. Stacia, Sean, Nate. I appreciate you for, all the things that you do to help me level up. So thank you very much for that. And I want to be able to kind of start out with understanding your temperament. It's so important. And this past weekend, I had an opportunity to speak with a couple of young ladies. They probably were, I don't know, mid, third, mid, late 20s, maybe early 30s, maybe mid 20s, but real bright, real sharp. And we were having a conversation. Never knew them before, but they kind of sat down and we started talking, and they were really bright, and some they had some training about personality temperaments. And I began to ask them questions and how do they use that with dating, and they really knew a little bit about the personality temperaments, which was exciting, but they didn't have a full 360 picture of it just because of the results they didn't get. When you understand your full 360, everything there is to know about a personality temperament and know how to apply it, when to apply it, why you apply it, you get a whole total different results. Um, and I have probably seen 50 trainers are able to teach it, but I probably have only seen one or two who live it and can actually get the major results that they want to be able to get. Um, I've watched them fall victim to being upset, stressed out, blaming others, and all of those type of behaviors are things that don't help you win or get to the next level, and they can break you. They can make you feel stressed out, mentally checked out, tired, and everything. And so I want to just talk about a couple of points today that will be able to help you. So the very first coaching point is start to know your playbook before you start the game. And basically what that means is your temperament is your internal system. And knowing it helps you keep from playing out of the position in your life. And a lot of times we're playing out of our position. We're kind of doing other things. We're trying to be other things. We're kind of acting in another way. And when you don't understand your position, you tend to step on other people's toes, or knowing not how to be able to receive what other people are designed and be able to bring into your life. And when you know what that particular how you're wired, you can understand maybe the first half of it, but a lot of people don't understand the second half of it. So they only get about 50% of it right. And the other 50% is major because it helps you to understand what happens when pressure gets on. And I've seen a lot of people crack under pressure, pressure bust pipes. And so knowing how you're wired before you start is major. And so we want to be able to know that you can't win consistently if you don't know how you're wired. So it's super important to understand that. In fact, what I'm going to do is I have some free assessments. I want you to be able to get those. Um just make sure that you just type in the bottom, free assessments. There's no charge there, but it will get you on the email list. And I want to be able to teach and give different points that you can use and apply, whether you're in sports, whether you're a parent and you got kids in sports, whether you're in a career and you're looking to change. Um, I'm My niece reached out to me this past weekend. We had opportunity to connect, and we're going to be working on some things. And that was really good when a family member reaches out to you and is ready to take it to another level and go to another level up. That's a really good thing. And so, coaching point number two, I want you to understand that your strengths are your natural gear. Your strengths are your natural gear. Knowing what your strengths are, you can kind of lean into them unapologetically. You can kind of go 100%. And I know that I remember when I played college ball and I would always hear Nick Saban, Coach Saban, I would always hear him talk about being in the right position. And so if you're supposed to do a drop back, 5 yards deep, 4 yards out, you drop back 5 yards out deep and 4 yards wide. You don't drop back four, you don't drop back six, you don't go three wide, you don't go five wide, you drop back five and you go four wide, because that will allow you to be in the right position at the right time, at the right place, so that you can make the right play. And it's the same way with the temperaments. Knowing what your strengths are, you'll know when to move, when to pause, when to push. And a lot of times, when we aren't fully aware of that, we don't optimize it. So stop trying to fix what isn't broken, optimize it. So sometimes it's not your relationships that's broken, it's how you're operating in your strengths and you're not optimizing it. You're trying to fix some other things and you're not in really the right place. And so, coaching point number three, I want to make sure that you understand that weaknesses, they aren't walls, they're just zones for you to work on. They're work zones. Just being aware of what your weak spots are allows you to train a little smarter, not harder. It's so I laugh at myself all the time because some things that's right in front of my face, I just cannot see them, and they're right there in front of my face. I tell the story all the time. I wanted my wife to get some shoes, and on these shoes, I mean, it would have had her legs popping, her calves looking good. And, she could slide in, slide out. And she looked and she said, "Hey, these shoes right here, I would never wear those." And I'm like, "Well, why wouldn't you wear those? I mean, they fresh." He said, "No, they got an alligator on them." And I looked at the shoes. I said, "Where's an alligator at?" And she pointed to him. And I was like, wow, they was like right there. And that's because one of my weak zones is sometimes I don't see things directly in front of me. I have One of my strengths is being able to see down the line where something here, where it's going to land farther down the line. I don't sometimes see things. And so what I do is I maximize that. I get help. I always go to those people who can see things right in front. I say, "Hey, can you take a look at this so that you can kind of help me figure out?" And they say, "Okay, well, look, do A, do B, do C." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, I didn't even see that," even though it made logical sense. But that is a work zone for me. That is a area of weakness, and it's an opportunity for me to train smarter and to be able to effectively partner with people and use their strengths or partner with their strengths to cover my blind spots. And so just understand that the goal isn't to eliminate your weakness, it's to out strategize them. So get some effectively partnering is very important. And so that's why mastering 360 of different temperament styles can help you. It has to be taught the right way. There's a lot of great ones out there. I probably am familiar with a ton of them, and I love them all. But there is one special one that's out there that will help you to understand how you flow on a daily basis. And so let's look at being able to identify your mental and emotional defaults. And so, coaching point on that would be pressure really pulls the default lever. You know, when you're under stress and you go straight to your mental or emotional default, knowing it really lets you adjust in mid game and knowing what to do. Under being under pressure, you don't become somebody new. You become more of who you really already are. And so if you start clowning or you check out or you get really angry or you get really depressed, that's really who you are under pressure. And a lot of times people don't work on that. They blame the situation, they blame their bosses, they blame their spouse. But at the end of the day, the pressure really reveals exactly who you are, and what you really need to work on. And that's not a bad thing. It's a thing that if you embrace it, you can become powerful beyond belief. You can be able to produce beyond belief. And it is just a very important tool to work on. Teamwork and working with people is the number one thing. I mean, I marry the wrong person and lose everything. Guys can tell you, girls can tell you, single parents can tell you. And so a lot of people, when they say, I don't want to get married again or I don't want to be in a relationship, honestly, they're broken. It's they're saying, I don't have the tools to deal with that, and they will use other languages to describe really what it is. But when you get down to the truth, it's I don't have the skill set to deal with that. So I may not know where to get the skill set from. But I was listening this morning um, to somebody on one of the ministries, and they were kind of talking about the two greatest things when you get older is having a purpose and loving somebody. So don't get old and not know your purpose and not have somebody to love, because my understanding, when you get older, and I know the young folk, y'all might not see that now, but it'll get here quicker than what you think. Having somebody to love and knowing your purpose is will create a joyful life beyond belief. And so don't be afraid of pressure, mental pressure or emotional pressure. It just reveals where you at and what you need to work on. Uh Coaching point number 2, understand that defaults can be upgraded. Your emotional reflexes can be retrained with awareness and repetition. And so your default isn't your destiny, it's just a starting point. And so don't get frustrated because some things didn't go well or be too hard. I know that perfectionists, when they make a mistake, they crumble. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. It'll cause them to be paralyzed and not move forward. They don't want to put videos out. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They don't want to post like they're supposed to. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Uh just because it's not perfect or you don't think it has enough information involved. And look, at the end of the day, that's just a starting point because no matter how many mistakes you make, you're always going to get better. And so don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to make that mistake. Do the things that you're supposed to do so that you can grow and get the things that you want to get. And then coaching point number 3, uh self check before you snap. So in a game in football, the quarterback always goes up to the line. He looks at the defense. He looks to the left, he looks to the right, he looks at all his position players, and he's checking everything out before he says go or hike and ready to start to play. So train yourself always to pause and assess before you react. Whether you mad or whether you angry or whether you are happy or whether you moving forward or whether you feel lost, there's always a pause and make that assessment before you react. And it's the same way that the elite quarterbacks do. It's the same way that your Magic Johnsons, your Michael Jordans, uh, all the great quarterbacks, they actually have a good ability to assess. Sometimes we move so quick that we don't really assess, and that gets us in trouble. And sometimes we don't move quick enough, and that can get us in trouble. And so I wanted to be able to share that also with you. And tune in on Thursday. I'm going to have Coach Nine, who's she's a coach that has coached in D1, D2, D3. She played D1 basketball. She has an amazing organization, and uh, I want to bring people in who's been through some things and they see the same patterns from mistakes from men and women, but this one is going to come from the woman's side. It's some of the same mistakes that us men make, and those particular patterns, they can be broken, but we just have to listen to the coaching. We have to want to be better. And I believe that when I talk to people, they all want to be better. Sometimes they just don't know who to listen to or which way to go. Sometimes they listen to the wrong thing and they feel lost. And sometimes people are just totally deceived with self-deception. And doing this podcast show, we're gonna talk about self-deception and what that looks like, so you can see if that's you, and if it's you, implement the strategies and get out of that. Because this is really all about raising your game to the next level. Everything's designed to take you to the championship level if you're trying to be there. I've been there several times. The people I'm bringing on has been there, and so hopefully the message will get out and it will be able to help somebody level up and get to the next level. And with that being said, I see you on Thursday at 10 a.m. Hey, everybody have a happy Tuesday.